Wrestling fans, it's Tuesday, but we don't got Tony. We got the fabulous one himself, John Cena Sr. A brand new episode of Wrestling Insiders is up next. You're going to love it. Stand by.
Are you part of a nonprofit organization, a youth group looking to raise cash for your cause? Stay tuned at the end of this video to learn how you can bring the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation to your town live, featuring the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Cheer! Why, hello! I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another brand new Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti, along with my not Hall of Fame partner in crime this week.
Oh, no,
what
wrong
does that
ring.
stand
Wrong
for?
ring.
Wrong ring.
Wrong
All right,
ring.
Mr. John Cena Sr. Johnny, we welcome you back into the fray. The fans loved our banter for several years now, and now it's great to have you back as we have so many big things happening in the MWF, in Boston wrestling sports as a whole. We heard from one of the great fans out there today, Waldensack. She wanted to know, Johnny, what do you think about what's turning into quite the spirited rivalry between WWE NXT and AEW on Wednesday nights on the USA Network and TNT, respectively?
Wow. My take on it is very simple. I think two furniture stores on the same street are good for business. I think that they're two completely different products. I don't look at them as competition. I look at them as a choice. I hope AEW does well, and I hope WWE and NXT does well. But we certainly now have been given a choice.
Why do you think it's not a competition?
Because I really don't think that Cody Rhodes is saying, I'm out to beat the best in the business. I think what Cody Rhodes is saying is, we're out to show you that there's an alternative to what you have to offer. Look, I'm probably going to get my feet crushed on this. Some of the storylines that WWE is coming out with just really aren't my cup of tea. AEW is offering you, hands down, pro wrestling with storyline. Nobody's water breaking in the ring. No question about whose husband is who, whose wife is who. You know what? I'm sorry. That stuff doesn't go with me. And when they did those storylines before, usually the marriages end up in real life divorce. So that's not my cup of tea. I don't know whose writing that is. I can only give you the PH initials, but my whole thing is, you don't see that at AEW. Now, again, AEW doesn't have a lot of the names. But they
don't have the star power.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
They're growing their own stars.
And that's what I like about them. What did Vince do when he first started? He created, he grew, he made superstars. Now they're just making stars. No superstars, just stars. And I think that what AEW and that group, Jericho and the others are trying to do, they're doing the same thing. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and we all, when we first learned to walk, stumble and fall. But I really do believe that AEW presents an alternative. And, no offense, it's been proven by the ratings.
Well, Johnny, let me ask you this. Do you think WWE made the wise move to put NXT head-to-head? Of the three brands that are available to a national audience, in theory, if you're looking at it before this competition began, okay, we'll put our developmental brand against AEW. If it wins, fantastic. If it loses, it's only beating our developmental program, not SmackDown or Raw.
I disagree with that comment.
Okay.
Because NXT is connected to WWE.
Sure is.
If NXT fails, WWE is part of the failure. I don't think anybody's looked at that aspect or that portion of the business because NXT is connected to WWE. We're the father, you're the child. If my son screws up, my child NXT screws up, it's the father that is a part of that screw up. And I don't think anybody's looked at that. Nobody has looked at that aspect. Big, big mistake. Nothing against NXT. NXT is a glorified indie show. And I don't mean that to be facetious. If I had all the pyros and music and everything, they are loaded with talent.
Oh,
excellent
sure,
talent.
absolutely.
I have no problem with NXT. But again, the dad's got to look at the son. If he gets heat, you get heat. I think that was a mistake. I don't think it was totally best for business.
Well, they're making good money off of it at the end of the day.
Okay,
It's
so
probably around a seven-figure payday
then I
each
guess
week
it is
from the
good for
USA
business.
Network, and you're exposing these young stars to a national audience.
Yep.
Several 100,000 people a week.
Yep.
So when the fans get to see them, maybe not the diehards that tune into NXT, but the regular fans of Raw and SmackDown, you may have more that are more familiar with them once they debut
when they
on one of
bring
the
them
two
up.
bigger
I agree with
brands.
that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yep, perspective is good. Yep.
Do you think that NXT comes off a little more minor league where they're running out of Full Sail University and AEW is selling? They had a few sellouts here in Boston and Philadelphia, and now they're running in still arenas where they're selling 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 tickets a week. AEW, does it look more professional than NXT?
I think it has a different twist. Mm-hmm. And I would agree with what you just said in terms of professionalism, because you see, NXT carries the stigma of development. AEW carries the stigma of professional wrestling. Chris Jericho, you know, I mean, take a look at that man. He's been all around.
Yep.
He's the man. Look at the New Japan Pro people they brought in there.
I think Ambrose was a great signing.
Moxley, yeah, he did it. Yeah,
Moxley,
yep, Moxley. I would concur with that. And so I think there's a big difference there. There's a huge gap. How they're going to fill that, I really don't know.
My worry is this, Johnny, where they have such a limited roster, where are they going to go creatively in 6 months?
AEW?
AEW. You have, let's look at their main players. You've got Ambrose, John Moxley, Kenny Omega,
Yep, good man.
Jericho,
Good man.
Cody Rhodes,
Yep.
Pac, the former Neville in WWE.
Yep.
Those are some of your heavy hitters. Jack Swagger, what's his name? Jake Hager in real life. He's with them now.
He looks really good now.
Jericho is trying to put together a little stable to get some of the younger guys over.
Yep.
But I think you're going to run into the point where, and it kind of reminds me of WCW with the look and the feel, where right now it's really, really exciting, but I wonder, where does it go in 6 months? Are they going to have new talent to fill these voids? And then after that top tier, I think there's a significant drop. You have some independent wrestlers on there that still wrestle like independent wrestlers. I think on every show you see, and this is, I continue to stand by this, every AEW event I've seen, whether it be some of their pay-per-views, their internet specials, and now the weekly TV show, you have 2 or 3 really, really, really strong matches, and then the rest of it is very forgettable and at times not very good.
I've seen that in WWE and NXT.
True.
So,
but I think
it's more so on AEW.
The bottom of the barrel in WWE in-ring, AEW can't hold a candle to that.
I agree with that.
WWE's roster from top to bottom is much stronger.
I would agree with that.
Much stronger. I mean, is it more spectacular what they do in AEW? It's a different brand right now. But I don't know. 6 months from now, it's going to be interesting to see where they go creatively without it becoming too repetitious. You have times now where I think it's been overbooked. They try and have, and I'm talking about just the first couple of TV episodes, they've done too much in some of the key matches, where I think if you try and have 2 or 3 takeaways that are memorable on each episode, I think that's a great thing. If you try and have 8 takeaways from each show, it's too much and it becomes convoluted and it doesn't stick to the brain as much. You know what I mean?
Well, all I can say is this. There were people, and you know, I don't pay much attention to the dirt sheets, but they had them destined to fail. They proved them wrong. Now, Vince, Khan, unlimited funding. So I think in 6 months, what you're going to see is some more superstars coming into...
Jumping ship?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Because, look, some people are happy, some people are unhappy. So those that are unhappy, if they're good at what they do, and I don't think AEW is about just picking up people. Johnny Fabulous, John Cena Sr.
I'd like to see you in AEW.
Hello, Cody, I'm ready. And I mean that. I'd go.
You'd jump ship.
I'm not jumping ship because I'm an independent contractor.
All right.
I have signed nothing with anybody, and I'm very grateful to WWE. I guess on their new, what they put online, I'm there with Edge and Orton, so I'm honored. I truly am honored. You know, one-time appearance doesn't hurt anybody. But
well, I remember the situation with TNA back in June of 2007.
That was a whole different...
We won't broach that subject right now.
That definitely would have been suicide.
And that's how it felt to me when I showed up at the building after telling them the night before you'd be with me. But
that was suicide.
That would have been tough to pull off, I guess, when we look back on it.
That was very, But my whole thing now is that I wouldn't underestimate the owner of AEW. He's got his ear to the ground. He's following the advice of some talented people, and I really think Cody is talented. Underutilized in WWE, they should have done what they needed to do and let that kid come to the top.
If not, I don't know if Cody could have been a main event guy in WWE, but he would have been one of those guys that should have been just touching the floor. Someone that was in maybe not pay-per-view main events, but TV main events.
Right.
I was really high on Cody Rhodes in WWE.
I have nothing but good words for Cody Rhodes.
That Stardust thing was an embarrassment.
Thank you.
It was.
Thank you.
For a guy with that much talent, why do you do that?
Because, you see, when you're the boss and you say, this is what I want, why did Mark Henry do, the chocolate thing?
Sexual chocolate?
Oh, please. That was, and giving birth to, oh, please.
Well, he
please.
didn't give birth.
I know. Megan
he saw
did.
the womb.
It was horrible.
And the funny thing is, at our extravaganza, December the 28th, Mark and Jerry Brisco were both in the room during the delivery. Maybe they could talk about that.
Why, in God's name? And it's another example. Mike Cronellis, Breaking Water. I mean, this is humiliating. It's disgusting. It's downplaying the role of a woman. The most glorious thing in the world is to be able to bring life into this world. And they're trashing that. Another man's wife in bed with another man on national television. Look, I'm no prude, but it doesn't belong on TV. Not with what they're doing.
I don't think it belongs on a pro wrestling show.
No, not with what they're doing. No,
because you want to know why? What bothers me about it the most? The fact is, why would there be a camera in this bedroom during a live wrestling television show? It just, from a sense of believability, it's not there to me. Could this guy be banging the guy's wife on the road? Sure. Could there be someone, a PI following them around with a camcorder? Sure. But to have a TV camera, okay,
please,
they're in bed now, they're cuddling, they're breaking Rusev's balls. There's no believability in that to me.
No,
it's weak.
Whoever's writing that.
And I love Bobby Lashley. You know that. I love Bobby a lot.
I work with Lashley.
He's a great guy. We had him here in the MWF.
I worked indie shows with him. He's absolutely amazing, this individual.
He deserves a better fate creatively than that.
Well, he's going down that road.
No, he's going down Rusev's road. No.
It's over for both of them, I think. I think that, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see those guys on AEW.
Let me ask you that. Well, WWE has been very smart as far as signing up talent long-term to 5-year contracts. And you know what's interesting about that, Johnny? I think back to the Attitude Era. WWE tried to sign everybody of value to those 5-year contracts. And if you look at those guys that signed the 5-year deals in 97, 98, when the war was really heating up, how many of those guys actually went through that 5-year deal? There aren't many of them.
No, there aren't.
And for those that are locked in now, they may be fans saying, oh my God, WWE has all these talents signed in now, men and women, for 5 years. Especially if AEW fails and the money that WWE ponied up, I mean some big money contracts for undercard talent?
Who loses? Not AEW. I mean, they get Arn Anderson. I have a lot of respect for Arn Anderson.
You could have been the modern day J.J. Dillon, Johnny.
I probably should say, he's the one that said me not to worry about the kick in the head, but the man's smart. And if they really do have this man and he's going to be part of their roster, I think you're going to see things start to change. And I really believe in my heart, they're going to bring in more and more talent because they, like you and I and everybody else and Vince and Triple H, they understand one thing, that they're going to go out in the marketplace and offer dollars. And your point is valid. I'm going to give you more to stay with me. Well, if I go belly up, you still owe me money.
You have a situation right now, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it's broken over the past few days, but Mike Kanellis, again, after signing a 5-year extension last summer, he wants out. He wants to be able to wrestle. Do you think it's part of an angle? Really?
That's a Paul Heyman angle.
You think so?
You know what? If he's going, so's his wife.
Well, the wife wrote that she wants to stay, so.
So what's that tell you? But she also in her write-up stated that he never went to rehab. Stated that he didn't do this.
I believe what she wrote was he never went to WWE paid rehab.
Rehab, right. But the thing is this.
Whether he did, I don't know.
Why would you leave a company? I mean, they're not using him, first of all. If they do use him, they use him in this stupid water-breaking, please, give me a break.
I look at it like this. Now, if I'm the couple, pretend you and I were, well, no, we won't even go there. But if I'm sitting, there, Mike and Maria are on the road, thinking, my God, we just signed these big extensions. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. They're not doing anything with me. I have so much talent. I want to go out and showcase to the world. You're still making big money here in WWE. Let me go out. Maybe I'm not going to make as much in WWE, but I can still earn a full-time living, whether it be Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW, New Japan. I don't know if he's ever gone the Japanese route, but maybe they look at it as a family. There's still a great income coming in, and he could be a happier human being outside of the auspices of WWE.
But his comment was, and one of them was, I want to be a good father and raise my family. Mm-hmm. Well, I only look at my own son. 325 days on the road. Hi, Dad. Who? The whole thing doesn't make sense to me. I think it's a storyline. Maybe I'll be proved wrong.
All I know is and this comes from personal conversations, not things I've read online, there are talents that are extremely unhappy how they're being used. But they do love the fact that they're living their dream, being with the company, and even more so, they do love the paycheck.
Well, the thing now is you have competition. Mm-hmm. You have an alternative to this company who was the only furniture store on the block. Now, your decision is simple. Kenny Omega makes the jump. Moxley makes the jump. Jack Hager makes the jump. Was it a right move? The paychecks are good. Health insurance is good. I mean, I don't know if they're offering that or not. I'm just saying.
I heard a rumor, and this didn't come from anyone in AEW, but I heard a rumor somewhere online that they were strongly considering it, which would be a great thing.
Okay, but see, so now you've got a choice. So, look, if I'm a guy and they're not using me, I don't want to sit home. That's wrong.
It's not even sitting at home. It's, okay, you're not booked on the house shows. The only time you are booked is for the TV tapings. And most of the time you're going to sit around and do nothing. Or like you saw in Mike Bennett's situation, very poor creative.
Oh, that was horrible.
It wasn't well received by the fans. No, and I can't imagine that the actual talents involved in portraying it enjoyed it much. It was weak.
For a woman to stand in the ring and go, he's not the father. He is. You know what? Please, I like humor as much as anybody else, but there reaches a point where it's disgusting. And I'm only going to say that, maybe WWE hate me for saying it. WWE won't like that. But I'm being honest. I have a right to talk about a product like everybody else. And I think maybe that's why some of the fans are saying, wait a minute, I've had enough of this. I'm going to switch over and take a look. I'm getting wrestling. As John Walters would say, wrestling, brother, wrestling. AEW offers you wrestling. How long that's going to be alive, I don't know. But their storylines are coming along well. As far as talent, I really believe Khan's got deep pockets. A billionaire versus a billionaire.
Does.
Okay, well, guess what? Who's going to win the war? We'll wait and see.
I think Vince McMahon in WWE was very, very smart to lock in the majority of their roster for 5 years.
Oh, smart move.
Very
it's
smart
good for
business
business.
move.
It's good. And what have I said all along? Vince is a genius. Paul Levesque, Triple H, genius in the business. Stephanie, another genius in this business. And I'm not leaving out the son.
Shane?
Oh, you can't leave him out because he's got it right here for the business. Great family business. And they're very smart to do what they're doing. You know, I'm waiting to see how it plays out.
What do you think AEW needs to do to take the next step? They've had over 1 million people watch their TV show each week. The ratings have declined a little bit each week.
To be
and
expected.
that's expected.
To be expected.
See, that's what annoys me sometimes when you see these different social media feeds. The big week one is always going to draw the big rating. It's like all these experts online that say, oh, Fox isn't going to want WWE anymore. The ratings are already going down, blah, 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 blah. For that first episode on Fox, you had Rock, and they advertised Hogan, they advertised Flair, they advertised some talents they didn't even use, which was a little bit on the false advertising side, but that's a different...
Cena wasn't there.
No. But what I'm saying is...
Me? I don't mean the kid.
Oh, you?
Oh,
you should have been there,
no,
too.
I'm only kidding.
I don't understand how people, I guess they don't look at it from a reality or a business point of view. No, the ratings are not going to stay the same from the blockbuster first week episodes. But continued declines, you need to see it to stop the bleeding at some point.
$1 million fan drop in SmackDown.
What's
1
that?
million fans. 1 million fans. It drops. That's a...
But, okay, look at it from a positive spin. Are they drawing a lot more people now on Fox than they were on USA, even with the ratings going down?
Of course.
So that's a positive that people don't look at.
But how long?
Because they want to be negative.
Well, again, see, there's only this cup of coffee. Now let's put a Starbucks beside it. Gee, now I have a choice. You got to remember one thing, and I think this is what people have to look at. You can stack the deck with all the superstars you want from the past. Once that's over, you're right back where you started from. You've given me a choice. I'm going to watch you because I want to see Dwayne Johnson. I want to see, brother, I love you, Hulk Hogan. I want to see all these superstars back in the ring. After that, I can take a Starbucks or I can take a Dunkin' Donuts.
You have the regular roster to work with.
That's
after
right.
all those the legends.
And who said it was a war? Nobody said it was a war. Even AEW has said, look, please, Christian, this is not a war. We're not out to...
Let me ask you, let's call a spade a spade. What do you think launching NXT head-to-head Wednesday nights on USA was?
Vince declared war.
Exactly.
But AEW didn't declare war on anybody.
I think they're just trying to play the game a little smarter. I think they ran their mouths prematurely a few times.
AEW or
AEW.
yeah.
And I think it came back to bite them on the ass. But success is success. I'll tell you this, Johnny. I didn't think it would go as well as it has thus far.
I don't think anybody
so
did.
happy that it's doing well because it's good for the entire wrestling business. There are some things on the AEW I've absolutely loved.
Yep.
There are some things that I can't believe they put on television. But at the end of the day, if they can continue even success, not even at this level, as long as they're creating full-time jobs in the industry, they're a great thing. So I hope all fans, even there are some that want WWE to die because they hate how it's become sports entertainment. You don't want WWE to die. Maybe you want to change creatively, sure. Then there are the WWE diehards that wish AEW would go away. No, you want, even if you don't watch it, you want the brand to be successful.
Look, you know what? You're always going to have that minority or that group. You could put gold on the table, and they'd say it's lead. So you know what? Say what you will. You're sitting in your basement all by yourself. That's probably the only thing you have in your life. Looking at wrestling, making comments you have no business making. If you don't understand this business, if you're not part of this business, don't try to second guess it. All right? So AEW, trust me, I'm going to make a long shot. There'll be more talent in the next 4 to 5 months to come. Notable names, notable talent.
All right, well, I'm going to throw this one out there in closing, Johnny. Someone I respect in the wrestling business, we were talking what was going on, current events, so to speak, and they said, mark my words, 5 years from now, this company doesn't exist. Do you agree with that statement? No, AEW.
I don't. Because
you think in 2024 there will be no AEW?
No, I think there will be. I think AEW.
Oh, you think they're going to be around for the long haul?
I do. Maybe it won't. And here, all right, let me give you this. Maybe it won't be AEW. It might be something else. But that brand, those people, definitely will still be in the business. Unless Vince decides to write a check and buy them out.
If
That's
they're
usually what happens.
successful, why would you ever sell?
Because those that have money want more money.
Well, if you look at the history of professional wrestling, what successful company has ever sold to another?
None.
Different story for different time.
I think they'll be around in 5 years.
I think the biggest losers in all of this, Johnny, is
fans.
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor had the Young Bucks. They had access to Omega. They had Cody Rhodes. They had a lot of these great talents that are in AEW right now, and they let them walk because they're cheap. What a disservice to their fans. And Ring of Honor is paying right now, where their live attendance is plummeting. Never mind, it's hard to even gauge what a TV rating would be for them, where they're not consistently on the same channel on the same week around the country. I mean, they've been around now 17 years. And to think look at all the great talent that has walked through those doors in those 17 years, and they've never been able to capitalize on it. They've never been able to, and it's an embarrassment, I think. That's exactly the wrong way to go about what you could do with it. If they offered those guys decent money, they wouldn't have left. And they're owned by a bigger company than WWE, which is the funny thing. That television network. And the television network does nothing with them. Nothing with them. They have them aired syndicated like they're a talk show or one of those judge shows.
Because it's just professional wrestling.
Well,
or it's just indie wrestling. You know what? Ring of Honor is great. Don't get me wrong. Am I a huge fan of it? No. I can take it or leave it.
I hope they succeed. I'll say that.
I don't wish anybody
But
bad luck.
I think right now it's swirling. The toilet has been flushed.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And we'll see where it goes from here.
All right, wrestling fans, we'll be back after this brief timeout. I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Let us tell you how the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation can help raise cash for your nonprofit cause. Experience the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation live in your city, throughout New England, the tri-state area, down through the Carolinas, out to our friends in the Midwest and beyond.
If your nonprofit organization is looking for an interactive turnkey experience while putting the fun into fundraising, you've met the perfect tag team partner to work with every step of the way.
The MWF offers a variety of packages for groups of almost any size, from our live events at the Boston Garden, the Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, and the legendary Suffolk Downs, to high school gyms and function halls. We've presented live events everywhere and anywhere.
Since 2001, the MWF's mission has been simple: keep the kids off the streets. Under the leadership of President David Reese, we bring the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow to your town. Not for a wrestling show, but an event that features action-packed in-ring wrestling, autograph, pose photo opportunities, Q&A sessions, and so much more. It's the best of sports and entertainment. The week of your event, we can add on to the endeavor with anti-bullying campaigns, library meet and greet reads, youth sport concussion seminars, and more.
Our live events are fit for fans of any age from 5 to 95. This fall is part of our new Kids Club program. We offer live event experiences exclusively for the youngest of fans. On the flip side, we can produce a tailor-made event for fans of an older demographic as well. We work with you every step of the way to get the word out to fans near and far on our local television offerings and to over 50,000 fans and growing on our social media platforms.
Your success is our success. If your group has had enough of candy bar and wrapping paper sales and has the energy to team with our passionate fan base, bringing the NWF experience to your community is the answer to put smiles on faces while raising cash for your cause.
Contact us today to get the ball rolling for your custom-made event that you'll want to bring back year after year to your community.
Don't just take it from us. Here are the folks we've teamed up with in the past.
All right, wrestling fans, another great discussion, Johnny. It's going to be interesting to see where the roads, no pun intended, lead in professional wrestling over the next couple of years. It's a great time to be a professional wrestler. Big money being thrown around, contracts guaranteed being thrown around.
Yep.
A lot of creative freedom in a lot of different promotions. And for those in WWE where they may not have the creative freedom, they're making a boatload of cash. And there's nothing wrong with that because it is, as you said, professional wrestling.
I agree.
But for us, professional wrestling has a great meaning because those roads here in the Boston area, they're all leading to one place, Johnny.
December 28th.
Not this studio, a couple of blocks down Main Street. 590 Main Street, the historic Memorial Hall, Melrose, Massachusetts, Saturday night, December the 28th. It's MWF Project X. It's the holidays, Johnny. It's going to be a homecoming. It's going to be a reunion. We're stacking the deck with talent. The world's strongest man, not you. That was you back in the 70s. We're talking about Mark Henry is going to join us. Your frenemy, former frenemy, now nemesis, I guess, Cam Zagami has brought in Vickie Guerrero. We got Hall of Famers like Jerry Brisco and Tony Atlas. We got former WWE Cruiserweight Champion TJP competing in the squared circle. Brian Malone is from Ring of Honor. Johnny, I don't know what you're going to be doing that night.
I told you, I'll buy a ticket. I'll be in
You're
front
going to
row.
buy a ticket.
I'm like every other fan. I'll be there.
I'll
try to be there.
I don't think David Reese would take the money.
Unless I'll be in Florida. I don't know which one yet. We'll see.
I don't think David Reese would take the money.
Well, you know, thank you very much.
All right. Well, for tickets, fans, head on over to bostonwrestling.com. Again, we're doing it in honor of this great individual right here, the 8th annual Paul Bearer
Undertaker?
Holiday. No, the 8th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlock Toy Drive. Undertaker's welcome to come. He's getting, I think, about $25,000 an hour for an autograph signing. So they wouldn't be cheap autographs, but we'd love to have them.
He never used to sign. Now he's just signing them. So what does that do to the value of the autograph?
He has a very nice signature, unlike a lot of them that just sign RR or SR or DA or JC.
I'd love to have him sign. I have the poster from the first Tribute to the Troops, signed by Vince and all the other stars.
Yeah.
The only signatures that aren't on there, a JBL and Undertaker.
You could have had JBL's. You had JBL's DNA on your face after that assault out back.
Anyway.
That's a different story for a different time. For the fabulous one, Mr. John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours, be well.